stage, that would be fantastic. So welcome everybody to Augmented Reality New York Meetup, or as we fondly like to call it, Arny. My name is Ori Inbar, I'm the founder of the meetup. And I have one question for you. Is Arny in the house?
Yeah!
Like a morning bird song. We have a really amazing program today, but first, what is Augmented Reality New York Meetup? Our goal is to help advance augmented reality, and we do it by connecting the best talent from around the world and the best augmented reality from around the world with the best talent in New York, which is you guys. So thank you all for coming. How many of you are here for the first time? Awesome. Thanks for coming. What we really like about this group is that we have people from all walks of life. We have programmers and artists and designers and police officers and professors and students, and they're all passionate about augmented reality, so that's why this group is so great. We have an amazing program today with 5 presentations. Some of them are actually coming from far away, from Australia, over Google Hangout, so it's going to be cool. But first, I want to thank our magnificent host here at NYU Poly, and please join me in thanking Mark Square for Want to say a few words?
Sure. Thank you very much everybody for coming out. It's great to see so many new faces here, like Arny's saying. New people coming out. We just started the mobile augmented reality lab in NYU Polytech, so we're really excited if anybody's interested.
Awesome.
Coming out. Program. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark. And by the way, restrooms are on the far left. Take the door and it should be in there. And anything else in terms of housekeeping, Mark? No? All good? All right. There's Wi-Fi, by the way. If you need Wi-Fi, it's called Arny. Pretty easy to remember. And there's no password. Okay. So, our first presenter is a longtime Arny. Been driving, like 3 or 4 hours every month just to be here with us, with you guys. And today, she's actually going to present her new company and new projects with augmented reality. So please join me in welcoming Lynn Voorhees.
Thank you, Ori. Appreciate it. Yeah. I have a video presentation we're going to start with. We're concentrating on AR for education and also moving into the field of helping people with disabilities, especially low vision. And so we're going to just kick off with the video because it's a little lengthy. And then we're going to also follow with some special guests joining us who are 2 teachers who absolutely adore AR for education. They have a passion to bring iPads into the classroom. They're using their iPads every day. So we'll introduce them right after the video, and we'll learn a little more about what they're doing.
You also have a demo, but that would be
yes,
after, right?
The demo will be after.
I want to augment your reality. Hi, I'm Lynn, President of Pear Enterprises. We offer consulting, development, and deployment services, leveraging 3D virtual reality and augmented reality software solutions. I'm on a mission to raise awareness on how augmented reality can enhance our lives. Right now, it looks like I'm in a spaceship. But in actuality, I'm in front of our green screen at our studio. Like the holodeck on the Starship Enterprise, what was just an ordinary room now becomes someplace magical. Augmented reality is just like that, the pairing of the real world with the virtual. The emergence of wearable displays within the next 1 to 5 years is making it possible to truly immerse ourselves into this digital domain. It will be commonplace to see people wearing AR glasses and using AR to do everyday tasks. Pear sees an amazing opportunity to harness this technology to improve our quality of life. We believe that we can significantly impact how we interact and experience our real-world environments. In the past, I homeschooled my children, and I worked at a preschool. I tried everything I could to keep my children excited about learning. I searched out new technology to help students learn. Math lessons with a fun computer game kept the students' attention and made learning fun. Today in the classroom, the use of smartboards, computers, iPads, and mobile devices are common. EduTech is on the rise.
Hi, my name is Diala. This is my first time trying augmented reality for education.
Hi, my name is Mary Rose. Today in school, I learned about addition. Addition is a combination of two or more groups of numbers. Addition uses the plus sign, and when I see the plus sign, I know it's time for me to add things together. Let's try an example. 1 plus 1 skeleton equals 2 skeletons. Ah!
I really had fun using augmented reality. It was really neat and I can't wait to show my friends.
Augmented reality for education is the next evolution in how we educate. AR-enhanced curriculum gives students interactive, hands-on, immersive experiences. Digital content like 3D models, animation, video are paired with printed books, images and objects, even locations can bring to life imagination and information. We can enhance life when we break down barriers to learning. Pear is working on building an AR library for education that will be a resource for educators to use in the classroom. We are already seeing AR help children with learning disabilities because it has a magical aspect that no other program offers.
We're working on a very exciting initiative now that brings augmented reality into education. We're bringing augmented reality into institutions that help children with disabilities, primarily with low vision disability and also with autism. So we're very excited about this. We want to be able to help children that don't have as much opportunity as the other children in regular schools do. On the other hand, we're also working with schools to bring augmented reality into their lives and in enhancing their curriculum. So these are some of the areas that we're working on in the education field.
Pear's AR low vision application is to help people who are visually impaired. We are pairing the use of a wearable display with an application that can enhance vision. The goal being that you just need to put on a pair of AR glasses that are fashionable and you can read, drive, and see with enhanced computer vision. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Talking about our low vision application, I have Bernard Snyder here with us.
Hi, Lynn.
We're working with Bernard to come up with a way to help people with low vision disabilities. And Arny is going to share a little bit more about his history.
I've been in the low vision industry for about over 20 years. And the present state of the art is basically the same as it has been for that length of time that I've been in it. Some advancements have been made in the type of electronics and all. But basically, it is a kind of a slow-moving process. What we're looking to do is come up with a device that is able to be worn and still enhance visual acuity for someone who is severely affected with such problems like macular degeneration or glaucoma, diabetic retinopathy, even RP. The problem is that in the present state, the person is fixed in front of a stationary machine, that enhances all the print that they're trying to read. What we're looking to do is get a device put together that is mobile, but as effective as a desktop machine. It allows them to travel, to do things outside the house, and at home where they have hands-free application for items like writing checks or writing a crossword puzzle, that kind of thing. That it leaves them both hands-free, and they are operating a wearable device that has an image of what they're trying to see enhanced on the inside of the device.
What we've done is we paired the Epson BT100 Movario wearable displays with an external camera source, and we're using our application that shows various low vision magnification, zooming in on the text, and contrast.
So what I'm looking at is on the screen the output of a video camera that is designed to enhance contrast, and it's adjustable in magnification range. So it displays on the inside of the device, of the goggles, of the Movario, and so a person that is visually impaired can see when I'm moving my head. In this prototype, it's not complete yet, but the finished product would have the camera input. It's mounted into the goggle device, and as I move my head, that camera is aimed at whatever I'm looking at, whether it be newspaper or writing a check, so that I can, by movement of my head, aim that camera to where I want it. And it displays on the inside of the screen, and it brings up the contrast and magnification that I need to be able to function. So at present, we also have, what you're seeing behind me is the image that I'm looking at on the inside of the display. So the camera's capabilities are going to have to be to allow magnification changes, and it will also have to boost the contrast and change the polarity or the mode so that it becomes more visible. Some people are working better with a negative image, like a black background with white letters, and that's what is going to create the effectiveness. The other byproduct of wearing the display is that it is already very close to the user's eye, and that in itself is a benefit in the way of size and feel. So therein we already have some advantage over a stationary unit that is further away from the user's eye.
With augmented reality, our future is so bright, we gotta wear our AR shades.
A little lengthy, I'm sorry about that. We're just gonna move right into bringing Brad Wade and Drew Minna. They're two educators, two guys with iPads. They're making a mission about spreading the word about AR in the schools, getting educators excited about augmented reality. They're actually traveling the circuit now, going to edutech conferences and lecturing and talking about augmented reality in the schools. And they are on Pear's advisory board now, so we're going to work together with them. So welcome, guys.
Hey, Brad and Drew, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, and you're on the screen.
Oh, excellent. Hi, everyone.
Hello, everybody. It's hard to hear you.
Okay, Brad, we introduced you. If you wanted to, Drew would like to share a little about, your mission of getting the AR for education in the schools.
I heard a little bit. Lynn said, want to hear about us what?
Tell us about your work in a few minutes.
Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Brad Wade. I'm a teacher in Michigan. Drew and I are also the co-founders of AR Detroit. We started using augmented reality in our classrooms about a year ago. And ever since then, we started discovering the power of augmented reality and actually how it transforms what's going on inside the classroom. Not only are we getting, the engagement is going up, but the time on task is even longer. So what Drew and I have done is we've had the opportunity to go around and speak on the power of augmented reality as much as possible. And we've been fortunate enough to get a lot of those attentions and spread the word as much as we can. So we believe in the power of augmented reality, and so we're just trying to share what it's all about and expose it for the power that it is as much as possible. Go ahead, Drew.
The biggest thing about augmented reality in education allows us to bring things in the classroom that before was impossible, and that's important. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And things just like we're working on an app right now that we're hoping to submit to the App Store sometime this week. The solar system. And I know there's a couple of them out there, but I don't think there's going to be one quite like ours for educational purposes. And that's just, again, speaking about the power of AR, is the ability to bring things in the classroom that was before impossible. We can read stories and watch videos and things like that about the solar system, but to actually have it on your desk and interact with it and manipulate each planet, open it up, see information about each one inside, and have multiple kids around one trigger studying different planets at the same time, that's really powerful. And it brings learning to life, is the way we like to describe it in the classroom. Not only just in our classroom, but our school, and trying to get our whole district and community involved as well.
Awesome. So we'll open it up we have time for maybe 1 or 2 questions. So audience, if you have any questions for Lynn or for our guys on Google, go ahead. Can we get the mic back? Yeah. Any questions? Suggestions? You want to see demos?
Yes.
Okay, this we did.
Yeah, so I mean, we're going to show some demos afterwards.
Yeah.
She has on her mobile device
Right.
the demo that...
We actually have a handout if you'd like. If you have a RASMA, we developed a demo that you could try out and hand out that if you're interested in trying it out. It actually was the demo that was shown in the video. But I just wanted to say to the developers in the room that more attention needs to be paid on the development of AR for education. And we want to collaborate with you. We want to work with you to get the content to the school district, to get it into the schools, because it's truly going to make the difference. We can really make a difference working together. So we hope that you, yes, Howard.
So I'm just thinking, because I think even with all these years of developing, like so many of us have mobile apps, iPhone or Android, and I've learned along the way that even business apps or a utility app, that gamifying stuff is kind of the key to get stuff adopted well. And I'm wondering what any of you might have thought of already, or how much of it is, like if kids are needing to learn something, but they feel like they're either competing with their own previous stuff or maybe even competing with other people in some way. If maybe that's incorporated into.
So for those on the Hangout, the question was about the use of gamification for education of kids.
Oh, gamification. Okay. Gamification is getting a lot of press right now, and there's a big movement for bringing gamification into the classroom. One of the appeals is, kids really enjoy playing games, and they're almost addicted to it. And you know what? To level up or to get badges, they'll do almost anything. They're okay to fail. So there's a big push now to bring that kind of learning and style into the classroom. And there are a few people and places that are doing it very effectively. So it is a very powerful tool, and it's just beginning to really get the recognition for what it is. And they're starting to become, there's a lot of power behind it. A lot of teachers and educators are doing some really good things with it. It's probably just on the fringe, and it's just the tip of the iceberg from what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, the whole thing with gamification for teachers, our whole thing is getting kids on task and, keeping them engaged in the learning process. Keeping a kid on task in 4th grade for a half an hour can be really challenging. But if you sit him down with Minecraft, he'll sit there and play that game for 6 hours straight and not even think twice about it. And that's the whole goal, is to try and, why is he so engaged in Minecraft and games like that? But he's not engaged in lessons, and that's the whole thing, is trying to bring that approach into education to keep kids engaged and, take learning a lot deeper.
Okay guys, we need to get going on the next speaker, so join me in thanking our guys here. You guys are nice. You can hang out a little longer, but we're going to switch to the next speaker.
All right. Thanks, Ori.
Thanks a lot.
Guys. All right. So our next speaker, another long-time Arny member, who's been driving from Philadelphia as well every other month. So he's now going to present us his latest project. A lot of us sweat, blood, and tears went into it, and it's almost going to be published soon. So join me in welcoming Brian Yetzer.
I want to thank Ori, and I want to thank you all for being here tonight. It's an honor to be here. And I also want to thank Lynn for her presentation. Educators, right? I've been in education, post-secondary education for a decade, teaching college students 3D modeling and animation, and I thought it'd be natural. Along the way, I found Nikola Tesla. And I don't know if you're familiar with Nikola Tesla or not, but this guy from over 100 years ago said we need to stop destroying the planet and start using renewable energies. So as a Tesla board member in Philadelphia, I said, well, what better way to educate the public about Nikola Tesla with augmented reality, 3D modeling and animation, and interactivity, right? So what I thought I would do is create an app and interactive poster series for an upcoming traveling exhibition titled Tesla Past, Present, Future. So what you see here is one example of one of those posters. There's 3 posters that represents the past. There's going to be 3 posters that represents the present. There's going to be 3 posters that represent the future. But what I'm doing, and starting next week, is going to be launching an Indiegogo campaign to collect dollars so I can continue to develop the app and to develop all the related artwork and to start publicizing this project. Very exciting time for to launch this campaign, because Tesla is becoming more popular. The Tesla automobile, the fact that we need green energy, the fact that we need all of these, we need to utilize technology to stave off annihilation from destroying our planet. So what I would like to do is let's run the video. Let's take a look at this campaign video. This is a rough draft of the video. You'll see this next week.
Augmented reality is a technology that allows a mobile device to see computer-generated images that aren't really there.
Hi, I'm Brian Yetzer, and I've been actively producing educational and promotional content for various Nikola Tesla organizations since 2010. I have a passion for creating interactive digital content to both educate and inspire. And I am inspired by Nikola Tesla. He has given the world so many technological and innovative solutions. His life mission was for the world to have free, green energy and communications for everyone. We're living in a time when we should be adopting his green energy philosophies and stop destroying our planet. I want to educate as many people as possible and bring awareness to his life, legacy, and mission. And what better way to do that than with cool technology? I need your help to create an augmented reality mobile app and an interactive poster series, which would be part of the traveling exhibit titled Tesla Past, Present, Future. This campaign addresses phase 1 of a 3-phase project, and the project has 3 objectives. 1, to educate the public about Nikola Tesla. 2, bring awareness to our current energy crisis. And 3, engage the audience utilizing the latest in mobile technology and interactive techniques. This will be the first ever augmented reality app to honor Nikola Tesla. Currently, there are 3 posters, as you see here. The Wardenclyffe Tower, the Nikola Tesla bio, and how a Tesla coil works. I have been working closely with Tesla coil expert Gary Peterson on the 3D model that you see here. We still need to animate the step-by-step functionality of how it works. Dr. Hugo of the Tesla Memorial Society of New York contributed the footage from his documentary, Nikola Tesla, The Genius Who Lit the World, for both the Nikola Tesla bio poster, as well as the Wardenclyffe Tower poster. The video has yet to be produced, but this showcases where we are in production. I am confident that with your financial support, this project will exhibit the finest representation of mobile technology to honor Nikola Tesla, the unsung hero of the free energy movement. An enormous amount of time and effort has already been invested in the current version of both the application and the artwork, and there's much more to do. This is a fantastic adventure I've been on, and with your financial support as help, I can turn this Tesla dream into a true augmented reality.
All right, let's see some live demos as well. So I'm stopping the video. And also muting our friends here.
I just want to say in the background is a track that I produced. I'm releasing all new electronic music next week. This track's called Augmented. It's the first, I'm going to make this the first official song to usher in the augmented reality world. And it's going to be available for everybody to listen to next week. Very excited. Okay, so as the video mentioned that this is how a Tesla coil works. You say, what's Tesla coil? Well, it's his miniature version of how to power the world through these towers of power and communications for free for everybody. Instead of paying your electric bill, instead of paying your phone bill, he said 100 years ago, we don't need to do that. We have the technology to make it free. Right? So here's the Tesla coil. Miniature version, Wardenclyffe Tower, 150 foot tall. I got that poster over there, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and show you how this works. Go ahead and launch the app here. This is just the initial development. What you're going to see here is just the 3D model. How it works. And what we're going to do here is we're going to show you the actual Tesla coil. So, what I've learned from augmented reality, the expo in Silicon Valley, thank you, Ori, is that it's no longer just a one-off 3D model experience because people get bored of this. So be like, wow, there's a Tesla coil, there's the cool lightning. You can go in here and take a look at all the components of the Tesla coil. What I wanted to have and will have is be able to flip the switch, the power switch gesturally. You'll be able to simulate how the coil works. The electricity will flow through the device. So it'll flow through 120 volts all the way up to the toroid, which is 200,000 volts. And it's just basically a simulation of how this device works. And a lot of people within the Tesla organization says, I don't know how this works, but it's cool, right? Like I said, this is just one poster, and then there's two others. One is, they're both video related. And our conference is in January. Part of the campaign, one of the perks is to have a free night stay at the New Yorker where Tesla lived and died. You'll be able to also, for $10,000, go to Belgrade, fly to Nikola Tesla International Airport, go to the Tesla Museum. You'll be able to go to Nikola Tesla Engineering High School, the college.
All in New York City?
What's that?
All in New York City?
That's in Belgrade. The New Yorker conference is in January, the Belgrade trip sometime in March. Ori, can we just show a couple t-shirts? Here's your perks. If you contribute to this campaign, just over to the right, Ori. This is some artwork that was generated from some of the stuff I'm working on. Here's the men's t-shirt. So you can see over on this side, you get the Tesla coil, and then you get to use your iPad or your iPhone or any of your Windows devices, and you get to see how it simulates basically like a t-shirt. And you got the women's version as well. So artwork, t-shirts, 3D, video, interactive app, traveling exhibition, big global picture. Let's save the world. Nikola Tesla saw it over 100 years ago. Let's educate the public and make a difference using this cool technology. Thank you very much for your time.
A question or two for Brian? Your project?
So is your project to help you make an app about Tesla?
App, and I'll generate the poster art, and to, yeah, there's a lot of components to this in terms of content generation. There's already been so much time invested just with getting to how this thing works with Gary. He lives in a log cabin in Colorado, and I'm working with Google Hangout right now, spending a ton of hours. He actually knows just as much animation now as some of my students that take my animation, 3D animation class. And so to make this accurately represented from a content expert, because you just can't put this stuff out there thinking this is how it works. You actually have to interface with people that know it's how this thing works. So it's a huge investment in time already. Yeah.
I think it's great. It's neat to hear all of this. I'm a little curious if you could extrapolate on what the promotion plan is, or how you're going to drive downloads and get the word out to the masses.
Well, it's a great question. That's the reason why I have two other projects that are money makers. This is not necessarily a money maker, right? We're on the cusp of something major here. But people are saying, well, why are you going with Nikola Tesla? This ain't going to make any money, right? So to answer your question is Nikola Tesla has a lot of fans globally. And I'm connected to a lot of people, Nikola Tesla fanatics. Their networks are extensive. You send the word out to Facebook, it drives a lot of interest. So as part of also the campaign being launched next week, I have a lot of work that I'm going to be promoting as myself, as the artist, as well as my company, so, as well as the music, as well as thousands and thousands and thousands of people are interested in Tesla, not only just the automobile, like I mentioned. But so yeah, marketing, people are there, you just got to find them. But I have email lists. Any other questions?
One of you ever saw, I was at some TED-related event or something, some offshoot event, and there was a film of a TED Talk of someone talking about Tesla. And while he was doing it, there was he had this book that he would open up, and there was projections on it. It wasn't really AR, but it was kind of these projections, and as he turned it, and when I heard who you were, I said, oh, this is that guy. But I wonder if you're familiar with that.
No, I'm familiar with the video. It's very, very professionally done, very well done. But again, Tesla lends itself to this cool technology. It's a perfect marriage. And I look for all of you to next week when you get the blast. Here we are. Here's the campaign. Please contribute and get excited. And are there any other questions?
Did you reach for the Tesla motors just to do combined marketing?
That's a great comment. In fact, I have a song that's going to be released called RPM. It's perfect for them. I'm going to contact them about it, and then I'll drive it to this campaign, so to speak. No pun intended. And that's an excellent comment. I'll have to do that like in the next couple of days.
Well, what is the financial goal on the price that you set?
I'm paying actually part of the fees are a developer, right? I'm an artist. I'm not heavily into code. Line 53 to find a hyphen or some sort of closed or curly bracket is not my interest. So I'm paying a developer right now to make this happen. And he's also going to be responsible for taking care of the Android, iOS, and Windows side of the fence. And I'm paying for that out of my own pocket, and I ain't doing that, right? I need financial support to take from the community. That's part of the crowdfunding initiative. It's a lot of money. I consider app developers web developers of 2001, right? Because that's where we are right now, and apps are dead in 10 years. So you're going to have to pay these people, right? And you need to make it interactive, and you need to pay for interaction. Any questions?
All right, that's it for today. All right, everybody, we're up to our next speaker. And I don't know if you know, but there's been going on a challenge by Intel called the Perceptual Computing Challenge, where they basically allowed people from all over the world to submit applications using their new perceptual computing device, which is right here, the camera right here. People are going to win prizes, but first there's a need for some massive number of judges out there to go over all these apps and rate them and rank them. So today we're lucky to have actually one of those judges today. So please welcome our first judge, yours truly. Yeah, and it's been really an honor to be part of that process. Although you basically get this laptop with about 60 applications on it, pre-installed, and you're supposed to run them and then rate them. And some cool ideas out there that we're going to look at, but a lot of things that are not mature enough, let's put it this way. And many don't work, and many have issues and so on, so it's not fun all the time, but there are some nice moments. So what I'd like to share with you today is, first of all, to kind of give you a sense of what it is like to work with Intel's perceptual computing, and show some of the ideas that I like and some that I didn't like so much. So hopefully you can see it up there. Let's try to launch our first one. All right. So, actually I need the light, Mark, at least a little bit, because otherwise you cannot see me. All right, so we have here a 3D depth camera, kind of like Kinect but smaller, that is part of Intel's SDK here. And you can use gestures or voice to control it. So let's see if I can find my hand here, yeah? No? Okay, yeah, it's kind of reacting. And then I can use thumbs up or thumb down to say what it is. I guess I told it to quit. The thing is, many people have used it in kind of the old way, which is to control a computer, which I think is kind of missing the point. Come on. Okay. Here we go. So now we're going to do some practice. I guess we're not going to do some practice. So that that's kind of, just to give you a little bit of my experience. Some apps do work, some don't. Let's try another one. Okay, so here are some of the names out there. The results are not out yet, so it's kind of all under NDA. All right. So don't talk about it. Okay.
So last one of the entries?
I'm sorry?
So last one you just showed us one of the entries into the contest.
It was one of the entries, yeah. No, I mean, it worked okay when I tried it, actually. But it's a live demo. Okay, so here's an interesting one that you might not expect, but it's actually a pretty interesting one. I haven't used a Windows computer for a long time, and I really missed the Control-Alt-Delete. So let's try that a little bit. Okay, let's try another one. Okay. So hand resting, that sounds like a good idea, right? You can detect your hand and based on that play the game. But I'm not sure if I can make it work.
Do you need more light?
just kind of giving you a sense of how mature this technology is. Maybe how immature I am in trying to show that that's a eye surgeon. Anybody can guess what this is? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, right? All right. So you have surgeons. You know, they have their hands tied, right? And this is actually probably a good place where they would want to use hand gestures to kind of see different things. So this is really simple. All you do is just wave like this and see. You know, now I see a lab report. Now I can see the X-rays of that patient while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. So again, very simple, but actually in this case it probably makes sense to use gestures as opposed to a normal you know, Windows application. Okay, that worked. Now let's try something else. I think I'm going to jump to the coolest one that I've seen, which is this one. It's a game, which makes it already fun. Alright. So here, I guess you're on a ship. And you have to shoot things, which is always fun. In this case, you see, I'm basically using my hands like this with the thumbs up to load and move the machine and shoot things. So I'm basically putting it in front, let's see. I'm shooting, moving. That's really intuitive. And then you see I'm loading now with my thumbs. I guess here the goal is to shoot these flying fish. It actually requires quite a bit of skill. Yeah. That's this one. Got it. So, kind of cool, right? Just like you would do it in real life. How do you get rid of it? I'm not sure. So we'll just have to go back to the good old task manager. So what do you think so far?
I just went in C# the .NET,
You know what? We'll have to get the Intel SDK guys to answer the details. But it's, you know, the SDK is, I think, is pretty open, and you can sort of hack it in any way you want. I know some people have used Unity to program with it. Others just, you know, straight C++ and so on. So I guess there are different options. The one thing that I wanted to show but wasn't there is a game in Japanese, so I didn't really understand what's going on, but I thought it was still really cool. It's, you know, the classic paper, scissors, rock, paper, scissors. And all you do, you know, the computer shows, you know, their gesture and you show yours, and it's kind of a game, right? So if you're bored, if you're by yourself, you can actually play that game with the computer, and it will recognize the 3 different gestures, so that was pretty cool. But other than that, a lot of applications we're still kind of, it's what I call skeuomorphism, right? I mean, using just a different way to control the computer, but with gestures, you know, like moving between windows, selecting between windows, all these kind of things I think are just a waste of time. Because we need to think about kind of how we can use this new interaction technology for new things, not for the old things. So, you know, if it's easier to use a mouse or a keyboard, why do you want to use gestures, right? Anyway, so that was my thing. Any questions on this part so far? Anybody?
So basically it's like connects with a PC.
In a sense it is. You know, it's obviously it's smaller, and Intel provides their own SDK for different purposes. And for now it's for Connect. One of the examples actually, I mean for the PC, one of the examples is actually not using the PC. They basically turn it around and put it in front of their the baby. So it's sort of a baby monitor, and they track the movement of the baby in the in the bed. And if I guess they're moving too fast, too much, it means that they're not happy or so or whatever, and then it kind of alerts you. So you can use it in all sorts of ways. But yeah, I mean it's a 3D depth camera that tracks not just normal video, but actually can see objects in your environment, can understand it in 3D, and it's easier to detect movement and objects in the environment. So in a sense, better than just a regular web camera. Other questions, comments? Anybody? Anybody has tried that? Perceptual computing? No?
Well, you have to buy it, right, to try it. How much is it?
Good question, but I believe that it's in the few hundreds to get it. Steve, do you know?
I think it's 200 right now.
200? Have you tried it, Steve? And what do you think?
It has some interesting differences between what it does and what some of the other depth cameras have to do.
In a good way? I mean, it has
designed to be used over a very short range, as opposed to the longer range Connect or even the Connect for Windows.
Right. Yeah, so that's a good point. I mean, it's basically made to use on front of your computer, which means that the distance and the kind of the area that you can move is pretty small, which is supposed, I guess, to give it a higher level of accuracy compared to the Connect.
For example, hand gestures, which is something that at least the original Connect can't do, right, because of the large field that it sees.
All right, so that was a little bit of to get you the feel for perceptual computing and the latest device out there. By the way, last time we mentioned that there's an iPad accessory that is now on Kickstarter, still on Kickstarter, very successful by Occipital, and that will come out in the next few months, which will allow to connect a 3D depth camera to an iPad. And that opens up a whole new set of capabilities that you can do with an iPad as opposed to with your computer. Like measuring the room or having, augmented reality games that you can play in your room while overcoming a lot of the challenges that we're facing today, like occlusion, because it can basically track the environment in 3D. It opens up a whole new set of capabilities. So that's coming out in a few months. All right, so we want to move on to our next speaker. But before that, there have been a couple of two really important events over the last month in the augmented reality world. One is the ISMAR, the largest research-oriented event. It took place in Australia, and I missed it, unfortunately, first time after many years. And there was also InsideAR in Munich, Germany, hosted by Metaio, which is the largest event in Europe, and a lot of cool things were showing up there. We have our friend Hugo that has been there and will give us a quick update on what took place, and hopefully we'll be able to ask him some questions about what happened there. So Hugo, the stage is yours. You're on the screen. I'll show you the screen so you see what's going on. Oh wait, we can't hear yet. Just a second. Okay, now you're on.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. Hi everyone. Hi from Australia. In case you're wondering, it's 11 o'clock a.m. here, Sydney time. And as you may have seen in the news, it is bushfire season, so there's plenty of chaos around, but not in the direct Sydney centre vicinity of me. It's way out in the mountains. Sydney's very big. All right, InsideAR. Let's get started. Are you going to flash the presentation up? Ori?
Yeah, I'm putting the PowerPoint on.
Cool. Okay, awesome. Now, so starting from the beginning, I think that's further in.
Okay, here you go.
Back. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, just go to the next page, that's fine. My name is Hugo. I'm a passionate AR geek. I have been a tablet computing geek for over 12 years and been a keynote speaker for Microsoft, for Secret Hanover Affairs and so on. So augmented reality is something I'm passionate about and will continue to sort of go along those lines of expertise with. This page is basically just showing, Europe's largest AR event. I think all of us in the room know that the number one event in the world is Ori. Obviously, Ori does a fantastic job there. But if there was a number two AR event in the world, I'd probably say the Munich event is quite good. But it definitely has a European feel. And the image on the right shows the pretzel and the sausages, and there's the BMW headquarters. You're under the Olympia Park, which is where the actual event was held. So it's got a very European feel. So next slide, Ori. The main point of the event, so this is the keynote there, and that's Thomas Alt, who is one of the founding members with Pear of Metaio. It's a Metaio-based event. So his whole headline for the event was always on, always augmented, and that was the theme of all the talks. You can see there was quite a lot of people there. So there was 800 attendees from 33 countries. And the main point of the event was that we're now moving away from a micro AR environment, which is all about an app in front of you or a potential user one-on-one interaction, to a more macro AR environment where it's bringing the outdoor to life and the indoor and going from indoor to out and vice versa. So that was the real gist of the event. Next page, Ori. Just an honourable mention for people like Joe Rampola. The drones were there, so there wasn't a huge emphasis on drones, but there was an emphasis on things like Domino's Pizza is now taking the drone concept in the States and actually prototyping right now a drone delivery system for pizzas. So that one's interesting to hear. And there's also a startup called Flirty, F-L-I-R-T-E-Y. Flirty is running hexacopters to deliver school books to people that order textbooks online. It's actually been trialled in Australia. That's because Australia has quite open or future forward-thinking legislation regarding unmanned aerial vehicles. And so these drones are actually allowed to fly through Australia at the moment, but they're still going through, this particular drone is going through approval, so we don't know if it'll actually will work or not, but as a concept, but it's being tried. Next page, Drew. Ultimately, what we have here really in this event was the focus on automotive industry. And that's because Metaio itself, who hosts the event, they actually are very engineer-based, very mechanical thinking. They have a lot of strong relationships when it comes to the automotive industry. So Volkswagen was showcasing their Marta product, and Marta is their solution for actually scanning, panning, and utilizing the iPads for maintenance on a ZL1. It's the brand new world's most fuel-efficient motor vehicle. So you can actually scan and pan. But one of the Volkswagen representatives was actually quite keen to showcase the fact that through the iPad now, if you look at that image on the screen, they were able to give these see-through type renderings to maintenance service people and sales people when they release a brand new car. So in the past, they had to cut holes in vehicles and actually showcase those components, but through AR projection, so projection plus AR, they were able to now showcase those particular see-through components without having to cut holes through vehicles. And in his own words, he sort of laughed that there's not a big market for vehicles with holes in them for after the show. So the fact that AR gives that ability now is really quite fantastic. But what you've also got is Audi. They were showcasing their E-Kurs Info. I think I pronounced it right, that's in German. But you're able to scan the Audi inside the car with your mobile phone and actually have the car come to life as well. So stereo components and features like that to be able to bring the car to life. Just go to the next slide, Ori.
There's nothing on the slide, just the words.
Yeah, the problem is that's the video, but on this slide, I'll make these slides available for you guys, or if you like, but ultimately this was the Mercedes-Benz world premiere of the IVI, which is the in-vehicle infotainment system. So it actually was a prototype launched specifically at the event to showcase how augmented reality overlay would work on the real world. And it's pretty, I recorded this with my iPad, and they actually had a car there that you could sit in, and they would take you around the Olympia Park and showcase the working augmented reality prototype. And it was beautiful to watch. So it was actually a GPS-style navigation with augmented overlays in real time. And one of the reasons they can do this is that they've got so many more sensors on the vehicle than we do on things like the cell phones. So they've got a far more intricate array of sensors they can pull from,
Hugo,
and they utilize this in.
Hugo, is there a video, a short video we can show on this?
Yeah. So it's actually, let me send it to you now.
We actually have the YouTube channel here open, so if you can point us quickly to what it is. What is it?
Yep, I can.
What's the name?
I can go to, just type in only augmented if you can, all together, just see what happens, and sort through filters by today.
Oh, so it's not one of the official InsideAR videos? By the way, this is the InsideAR channel. There's basically all the sessions up there. So if you want to...
no one put up a video, so this is actually a video I had to put up myself. But go to YouTube and just Google, search for only augmented all together, and then filter by today, and the video's there.
Okay,
it'd be nice if you could show it again.
Only augmented?
Yep, filter by today. It'll come up to the top.
No. It didn't come up at the top. Anyway, let's move on. Let's continue.
Can I send you the link on the chat?
Try, but let's continue on the slides, and I'll come back to it.
Okay.
So now we're on the Mercedes slide.
Okay, cool. So the Mercedes, where am I?
There's no video here, huh? No.
Okay. You can play it there now, it looks like.
No, it doesn't. It's just an image.
Doesn't want to play it? Well, I sent you the link anyway on the chat. So this page is pretty unique. So SDK 5 was released just prior to the event, 2 days. And the main talk, which we've seen a little bit of online, was edge-based markerless tracking, so CAD-based tracking. So because, and Ori, you might agree, because the augmented reality is in its infancy, we still need a layer in between the augmented reality and the user to help interpret everything just a little bit faster. And this CAD-based tracking does that. So it overlays, you can upload a CAD drawing if you have of something, for example, and then it becomes the edge outline of whatever you're looking at. And it helps the augmented reality application see faster, if you like. So in this case, on the image on the right-hand side, we're holding up a white car, which by all accounts, and I didn't really know this prior, is really, really hard to track with AR because there's not enough textual data. So what happens is you can just see, make out in the screen of the Apple computer there's a CAD overlay which the guy is actually just about to snap into place. And once it snaps into place, you can practically flip the car and twist it on your hand and spin it like a basketball almost, and the AR will stick to it like a magnet, which is beautiful. Now the image on the left showcases how this might be used. So you could actually scan a car, for example, and this is not a dummied up photo. This is actually, I was taking with my iPad a photo of another iPad looking at an Audi on display on the exhibition centre at InsideAR. So there was 3 vehicles on display there, a Mercedes and 2 Audis. This image itself showcases the app, allowing you to change colours of the car on the fly. And if you look on the left-hand corner, you can change the alloy wheels on the car. So if you look just behind that left-hand image, the wheels on the actual car are different to the wheels on the iPad car. And that's because you're able to snap and lock into place different images thanks to this edge-based tracking. So that's a new release from the Mateo SDK. Next page, Ori. What page are we on there?
Depth tracking.
Okay, depth tracking is pretty awesome. So it's kind of like the Intel Perceptual project you just showcased a second ago. It uses depth tracking to actually gauge your depth against the product. So in this case, I was just looking at a car door, but part of the selling point of this feature was that apart from the depth, it actually calculates angle of entry as well. Because as you know, just from this image on the right-hand side, when 2 people are looking at the same image, you're coming at it from different angles. So what it calculates is if the door is facing slightly to one direction and then rotated so that someone could get a different angle, the augmented reality process is smart enough to know, well, now you've gone from looking at it from a sharp right and you've gone and you're looking at it from an acute left. So the depth tracking allows for angle of entry as well as depth. Which is very, very clever when you're looking at things like a door and you want to explain to a maintenance service person how the safety features work or the automatic windows feature works. So it's very, very clever.
But that works only for one person, right? I mean, if you have 2 people looking at it, you're going to drive it crazy.
Yeah, I mean, part of this is it's using a projector as well as the camera, so it's not reliant on an iPad anymore. So now you can see the projector is actually sitting on a tripod. So you can actually move the tripod around the door, or you can move the door. You can see, if you look past, the door is actually on a wheelie trolley as well. So you can move either around either, because the image is not being seen through a camera this time, it's actually being projected. It's being seen by a depth sensing camera and projected by a projector back onto the door. So it means that multiple groups can interact.
All right, next slide.
Next screen. What have we got already there?
Juneo.
Okay, Juneo is amazing. So the image on the right-hand side, let me go, I've got a slightly different slide on mine, but I'll go back there. So the image on the right-hand side, well, let's start with the image on the left. The image on the left is what we actually know as Juneo today. So any of you that have used the browser know that it's quite full and overloaded and a little bit clumsy. I'm not a huge fan of where it's at today. However, Google Glass has forced them to actually revisit that UI and in a positive manner. So Mateo actually launched what they call the world's first AR browser on Glass, and it's called Mirage. Now Mirage is basically Juneo stripped back and tailored to be on Glass. So where you see the image on the left, which is the full force of Juneo, Peter Meyer, one of the founders of Mateo, actually admitted that you get a full, magnificent 15 minutes of operating time on Glass using Juneo full blast. So they had to relook and revisit that. The image on the right shows that they stripped back many, many, many features to only show, and actually the image on the right is not the final release. Final release actually turns off the camera on Google Glass as well, because camera streaming became quite a clumsy viewpoint for the actual overlays. So what they did is they kept the overlays, turned off camera streaming and turned on what they call see-through mode. And because the optical viewfinder in Glass is actually see-through, all you have is your eye looking through that optical glass itself at the real world, as if you were looking just through a bit of glass, and then the overlays are happening on top. So the image on the right shows a person looking through the glass itself without the video stream turned on, and the overlay is still happening. And that took the browser to a about 6 hours ability, which is magnificent as soon as you turn off that video. So that's Genaya Mirage.
We're running out of time, so let's try to move quickly.
Yeah, okay, well skip all the way down to, if you keep going, mate, and go to wearables, so just we'll go down to where, that one, yeah. So the next page, that's not an image of Steve, man, so by the way, that's just an image to warm up this conversation, but wearables is the conversation now going away from wear versus worn, and worn is we're just going to use it without being even bothered to wear it and have someone else being bothered around it. Let's go to the next page, Ori. That's a picture of the M100, the Vuzix M100. For those of you that have seen it, it's no longer the Google Glass concept of peering up and out to your right, but it's peering down and almost, as Steve Mann sort of calls it, a point of eye view. And I've tried to take an image of what it looks like inside the M100. Go to the next page, Ori. Vuzix actually launched what's called the M2000 AR, which is an industrial piece purely targeted at the industry, like factories and mining and so on. And it's using a new concept called waveguide technology, where you can turn on and off the opacity of the optics, and you can see on the picture where I'm wearing the monocular, you actually got that overlay happening on the optics itself, so you can actually peer into an augmented reality experience, and then the image on the right shows the optics turned off, so you can actually have something to look at on the screen as if it was projected in front of you again, but more personalized. So that was launched at the event. The last image, and that's the last of the sharing of InsideAR, and obviously, if you go to the next page, obviously wearables was important this year. It was a buzz for the whole event, as it was at Ori 2013. This was actually a pretty special concept, which was only a couple of days prior to the event put together, so you may not have heard of it. But have a look at Google Braze, B-R-A-S-E, and it's tempting to Google V-A-R, but it's not V-A-R, it's B-R-A-S-E. And it's like the Oculus Rift, but what it does is it takes advantage of your cellular phone. So they actually, you slot your phone into these optics and put it on your head, as you can see my image, and you've got a projected, they claim up to 40-inch sort of plasma type image hanging out in front of you, a full HD image, 720p. So pretty miraculous when you put it on. They had the typical roller coaster sort of showcase on there, and it did give you quite a head spin when you were on the roller coaster using this, and you genuinely felt like you're on the roller coaster, as you would in Oculus Rift. But the main selling point of this was it's much cheaper because you have the power in your phone already to do this, so you just slot your phone after you download their app into this little holder, and you're no longer tethered like you are with an Oculus Rift. You're free to roam around with your phone, or their biggest selling point was that you can sit in an aeroplane and watch a whole movie just staring up into the sky. So yeah, wearables was a real buzz. Context was a real buzz in InsideAR. And if you just go to the last page, that's it really. You can contact me anytime, but I'll have these slides up and I'll send you the link already maybe to send to the game. And I'm happy to chat to anyone as they need. But it's tough to put all this into a 10-minute session as it would be for all. You know, it's tough. There's a lot of information happening.
All right, thanks a lot, Hugo. So, while we have you, any questions for Hugo? Anybody?
I would wonder, like, about the Domino's helicopter delivery.
What's the question?
What happens if the helicopter gets robbed?
How the helicopter gets
robbed.
What if it gets robbed?
Okay, so I don't know if it's something that Hugo can address, but it's we'll note it down and try to find the owner. Other questions for Hugo? Okay, thanks again, Hugo. Have a good day.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Down under.
Thank you, mate. All the best.
We're kind of running out of time, but for those of you who still want to see, I have 2 more demos that I want to show. You still up to it, or you want to wrap up? Yeah? Anybody?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So, can you get some more light? All right, so typically, for those who have been in Arny's before, you know, at the end I do sort of the latest and greatest from around the world of augmented reality. This time kind of we had a lot of stuff, so I don't have much time, but there are two really cool demos of things that came out that I want to show you. So let's. By the way, this is my Twitter feed, which has this is what I typically use to showcase the latest and greatest. A lot of videos and images of the latest announcements in the augmented reality world. And this specific one is from Obvious Engineering. For those who are not familiar, they had basically a 3D, an AR SDK which could track curved bottles. They had it like 2 years ago, so they were pretty advanced on that. And now they came up with a new product called, hold on, let me put it on. Okay, it's up. It's called Seene, S-E-E-N-E. And see what you can do. See, it's basically take a photo of something, and it captures it in sort of 3D. Nice. And then you can share it with your friends. So here are some examples of what I can do. Let's see. Cupcake.
How does it?
I'll show you in a second. This is a diorama that I saw yesterday, and I took it, instead of just a 2D image, here you can actually see how it looks in 3D. So how does it work? It's really simple compared to many other augmented reality things that we've seen out there. So let's see if I can use this. We need a 3D object. Let's take this. I take this bag. You see it detects these feature points. I'm going to start recording. And all you have to do is kind of move it a little bit to the left. We'll keep the tracking going. A little to the right, top, and bottom, and that's it. Now it's processing, and there you go. You got the image. So, I mean, compared to 3D tracking with all the setup, all that kind of thing, I think it's super easy. It's I guess, a bit more complicated than a simple Instagram. But I think it has a potential to actually spread around. So check it out, and let's all help our guys from Obvious to succeed with this. It just came out last week, so it's brand new, but pretty exciting. The other thing I want to show you is a game from an Israeli company, and they're doing pretty well. Their approach is basically to, instead of having people print, they actually sell these. This is a print, but they sell these as sort of a mat that you buy in the store for I think like 20 bucks, which is pretty nice. And then you use it to play. But the game is, you'll see, the game is I think a very cool game in sense, kind of it understands the advantages of augmented reality very nicely. So you got the nice dragon. And shoot things, but the movement is very critical, otherwise you'll die. So you kind of have to look around and beware from this dragon, look from all angles at the same time. I mean, the graphics look like a real game, doesn't it? Oh, see, I'm almost dead because I'm not moving fast enough, but I guess when kids play it, they're yeah, I'll take the health thing. I mean, they definitely got the idea that when you move, when you play AR, you want to be able to move around and look at it from different angles and take advantage of the physical aspect and the spatial aspect of augmented reality. I think they've done a pretty nice job. So try it out. If you see it in the store, buy it, because we got to help these guys. Hopefully they'll be one of the first AR games that make it big. All right, so these are. So two things I want to show. Other than that, CastAR came out, is now on Kickstarter. CastAR, glasses, new glasses that project instead of on the eye, it projects on the real world. From a couple of guys who came out of Valve, the gaming company. Definitely worth checking it out. really nice theme park with augmented reality in South Korea. Check out the video. And there's a new head-mounted virtual Retina display from Avigant, which still don't have much details about this, but it looks like it's a whole new approach to augmented reality headset display. This is how it looks. Pretty big, but it actually projects into your eye, not on the screen that is in front of your eye, but into the eye itself. And from what people that have tried it say that it's much more immersive, much more detailed than you expect from a typical digital eyewear. Anybody has seen it or heard more information about it? No? Okay, so I guess we'll have to wait patiently for this to get to our hands so that we can actually show it here. But that was Avigant's latest, and with that, we'll wrap it up, and thank you all for coming today. So now we have time for some member announcements. If you have something that you're working on, looking for partners, looking for help, just want to stand up and introduce yourself, this is the time to do this. And afterwards, we'll have some more time for networking into the night. So anything, Joe, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say myself and Bobby Simpson, we have a podcast and an internet radio show called Augmented Reality Dirt. It's all about augmented reality. We have 30 episodes released. We also have a blog with the latest stuff. We interviewed Ori and a bunch of many other experts in AR. So if you're interested, check it out. It's at peardirt.com. But if you download it on iTunes or Google, you'll be able to download it for free or listen to it on your phone. So we're also going to be interviewing Hugo Ortega, who we just saw. It's going to be a little bit more of an in-depth interview because about 45 minutes. But we try to follow the latest trends on augmented reality, so we just want to make you guys aware of it. I have cards if you forget the domain name. So.
Also, if anybody wants to guest blog.
Yeah, we're looking for guest bloggers. If there's anything, or if you're working on something really cool and you want us to know about it, let us know too. So, and we have a big. Well, we're trying to build a nice community on Google+. It's under Augmented Reality Dirt Community, and there's a whole bunch of other AR groups there on Google+, and also LinkedIn if you haven't checked them out yet.
All right, thanks, Joe. Anybody else? Mark.
So we've got a show coming up in Istanbul. It'll be in November, I think around November 12th, somewhere around that range. So if anybody's over in Istanbul, come out to the Casa Gallery. I think it'll actually be a pretty big show. Should be great. We also have a project on Kickstarter. We're taking video games out of the TV and turning them into a physical experience. It'll be a development environment, so you can actually publish your own games from our app. So it's on Kickstarter. It's called Play AR. So if anybody's around, it would be great. Thank you.
See you in Istanbul next month. When is that? Istanbul?
Istanbul?
Yeah.
I think it's around like the 12th, somewhere around there. Okay. November 12th.
See you all there.
Yeah.
Any other announcements? Yes, go ahead.
I'm John. I'm an Android developer. I just came back from Hong Kong and I checked out a tech scene there, and I see a lot of opportunity because when we take for granted in New York City, they don't have that on par yet in terms of people who know how to program good. The government, they're actually encouraging investments in tech area. As you know, some of you might know, the tax rate for corporate is more than less than half than the United States. So that's a big chunk of money if you decide to expand and do business. Empirical information, there's over 1 billion people there. And you do this empirical information, that's 300 million people in the United States, and that's business so big here, right? So you imagine the possibilities of doing with 1 billion. So if you're interested in maybe presenting or promoting business and services, I guess I put some of the info on the meeting page and introduce you to some people in the government.
Cool, thanks very much.
That's great.
This is a general thing I got. Some of you know me. I've traditionally been more an iPhone and iPad developer for a bunch of years and started working with augmented reality and those things over this year or so. But now I'm actually become, I guess, I'm officially a glass explorer now that I've gone down to Chelsea and picked up my glass a couple of weeks ago. And just started to get more into figuring out what I'm supposed to do with that thing. So anyone else who's kind of getting into that now, just starting to refer people to chat back. Obviously I'm on Twitter and all the blogs and stuff. Anyone who's been thinking about that lately, let's talk after this.
Awesome. Anybody else? Okay, there's another event coming up in New York, Geo Web Summit number 7 in Dumbo. And the theme this year is connecting the digital realm to the physical location, which of course has a lot to do with augmented reality. So you're all invited. Here are some of the speakers. Ooh, look who's here. Yeah, I mean, we have still a couple of discount tickets if anybody's interested. Other than that, I think they're still looking also for speakers about augmented reality. So if anybody's interested, please talk to me. And with that said, we'll wrap it up for today. See you next month.